Hi, welcome to the NCV Mathematics Level 2. Our topic is drawing the straight line graph, and we are going to look at the table method, sketching the straight line graph using the table method. And our problem is that we must first now find out how to use to construct the table. We are using a Casio FX82Z a calculator, and we are going to give you now the steps how to program this calculator to get the table for your straight line graph. Now first of all, this is what the calculator looks like. It's our Casio FX. So if you use any other calculator, you must look at your instructions. We are specifically only using this Casio FX calculator to show the table method. Our example that we are going to use is going to be y equal to 2x plus 1, and we are going to punch in that equation and try to find the table through the calculator. Now our steps will be, first of all we will look at what is the step and then see what is the response on the calculator. Step 1 on the calculator is to press the mode setup button. That will give you this on the calculator, 3 options: comp, stat and table. Your next step is to choose the table method, or point number 3 on the calculator, which will give you the table, and you press that. It will give you then f of x, which represents y in our equation. Once we've got that, we now punch in our equation, which in this case is 2x plus 1. To do that, you need to press alpha x for the x, so you will get that, and 2 alpha x, the button for the x, and then plus 1, and that's what you will get on the calculator. Your next would be to place the equal sign so that you can enter that equation, and it will ask you what is the start. Now the start would be where you want to start the table from. So normally if there's nothing given to you, sometimes they will tell you to do it from a certain point to a certain point, but if nothing is given to you, you take -2 as your start, so you will punch in -2 on the start. It will then ask you what is the end. Again, you will use a 2 and press the equal sign, and that will be entered into the calculator, and then it will ask you the step. The steps is how many spaces between each value on the table. It will always be 1 for this graph, so we'll leave that as 1. We press 1 and equal sign, and it will create the table. And the table there will be -2 and -3, and we can scroll down to find the rest of the table, which is now from -2 to +2. So there's all your values, and we will now use that table to draw our graph. So just quickly we're going to show you how to do it physically on the graph now. So just to do this exercise once again, we've got our calculator. It must be in normal standard. When you switch it on, you go to mode, you select number 3 for table, and you are now going to follow these steps. Our equation is 2x plus 1, so we've got f of x. We punch in 2, we punch in alpha to get our x, we punch in plus 1, and we've got our equation. F of x equal 2x plus 1, that is y equals to 2x plus 1. We enter that. We are asked what is the start. We said if there's nothing given, we take the start as -2. We enter that. They ask for the end. If there's nothing given, we make the end +2. We enter that. The step will be 1, so you leave it as 1, just enter that, and our table will be created. If you want to move down, that's -2, -1, 0. Go down, it's 1, 2. So all the values are given there as we go down, and we can see the corresponding values. For -1 it's -1, for 0 it's going to be 1, for 1 it's 3, and so on. We can get all these values. So we're going to use that values now on the calculator, and we are going to plot our graph accordingly. So here we've got our Cartesian plane, and on our calculator we had our points, and here is the list of all those points. We say the first point is -2, and its corresponding y value is -3. So plotting that point, -2 and -3, will give me that position over there. Our next point is -1 and -1, which is over there, and our next one is 0 and 1 on our table, followed by 1 and 3, and lastly a 2 and a 5. So there's all our points according to the table on the calculator, and we've marked them just A, B, C, D, E. You don't have to mark them, you can just plot them. And once you've got them all from the table, you can simply take your ruler and draw a line joining all of these points, and that is what your graph will look like. Of course, you will put the graph name next to it. Y is equal to 2x plus 1, the label x, the label y, and that will be the way to draw a graph, even if you asked in the table method.